Welcome back, everyone. I know it's been a minute since I've had a video, but I have been very busy with my duties and my job. Today's video is actually going to be a very interesting video. If you're sensitive, if you're a person who just doesn't like raw truth, at least my truth, because again, at the end of the day, this is about my opinion when it comes to ultra high end. I'm going to throw it out there, guys. If you're a very sensitive individual who is very emotionally attached to components, this may not be the video you want to watch, okay? But for the rest of you guys who want nothing but the truth, my truth, the uncut truth, the raw truth about my own personal experience with amplifiers from different parts of the world, this is the video that you want to watch. But before I do that, you know the deal. Subscribe, hit that like button, support the channel, help me continue to gain more subscribers. I really appreciate everything, all the support and all the love, guys, that you guys give me. Okay, so let's talk about amplifiers. If you guys have followed me, you guys have seen all kinds of amplifiers throughout my journey on YouTube. Even before YouTube, I've had a lot of different amplifier brands. The typical, suspects, the usual suspects, if you will, the Brystons of the world, the NADs of the world. I've had the ATI technology amplifiers, the Theta Digitals. I've had from that level of components to the ultra high end, such as Constellation, the Gryphon, the Boulders of the world. I've had the Past Labs, of course, the Luxmans, and the list goes on and on and on, guys. I just wanted to tell you guys that I was thinking the other day out loud, I was thinking to myself, how do I feel about amplifiers in their country of origin? And guys, I was thinking about this and I was wondering, does America build the best amplifiers of the world, or does the rest of the world build better amplifiers than America? I know this is going to be a huge topic of discussion and it's going to raise a lot of eyebrows. But again, I want to be candid. This has to do with my opinion and my personal experience. So let's talk about that. Guys, when it comes to the ultra high end and all the amplifiers that I have owned, I got to tell you that I always find myself going for brands that come out of the United States. Are we getting the best quality here in the United States? That's what I want to talk about. And I feel personally that in the United States, we really only have maybe two brands, two of them, that I can call outstanding. And outstanding in terms of the quality of the sound. I want to make sure I say that. To me, okay, personally speaking, the two brands of the United States that I find incredible have been Boulder. No surprise there, guys. You guys know what Boulder is about. Amazing brand. And Constellation. Although, of course, Constellation comes, there is some sort of a connection with Australia, but the bottom line is Constellation is built in California. I personally believe, guys, that those right now are the two best brands that the United States has. And those are the only two brands, in my opinion, that can go up against the big heavy hitters from Europe, such as Gryphon, for example, right? Gryphon to me has been probably, if not the best brand that I have ever heard from outside of this country. When I look at all the other offerings, and of course I have not owned every single amplifier, I haven't had every single product out there. It's impossible to have it all. I find myself, always talking to different dealers about their feelings, and we all come to that same sentiment that here in the United States, we really don't have the best, and I want to say this, solid state amplifiers. I'm not talking about tubes, because of course with tubes that's a different conversation. But when it comes to solid state amplifiers, I feel like the only real good representation we have here is Boulder and Constellation. I don't think we have any other brand, in my opinion, that I can honestly say we can put up against the rest of the world. I mean, yeah, I understand. I can think of other brands that you guys are going to mention. But listen, no matter what we say, no matter what we talk about here, I still believe that anything else outside of those two brands has been good, has been great sounding, but it hasn't done the extreme that Boulder and Constellation has done for me. Okay. If you guys know, I've had two Constellation amplifiers here. Okay. These are the Centaur MK1s. Okay. These were like $50,000 back in like 2012. And today, guys, I can tell you, when you take in consideration the depreciation of this amplifier, right, and the price that you can have them for, it's incredible the value, it's incredible the performance, it's incredible the sound that you can get for the money. Okay, I have heard other amplifiers that are more current than these Constellation monos, that are newer, and I still prefer the Constellation monos. I mean, are they perfect? They're not, guys. They have certain things and weaknesses that I may talk about in the future. But overall, holistically speaking, they are one of the best amplifiers I have owned. And I've had Constellation quite a few times. It's never disappointed. Now, that said, there are reasons why Constellation has been scrutinized. There are reasons why some people are really, really not fond, or they're not really supportive of the brand, for lack of a better word. One of them being the inside of the amplifier, the internals, the guts, if you will. Okay, a lot of conversation has been taking place about how cheaply made they seem to be. I can tell you that I have never had any reliability issues with the Constellation, and I've owned them again several times. I do not know of any dealers either that have had problems, a lot of problems anyway, with Constellation. So what I can give you as far as feedback is the brand itself is pretty solid, pretty bulletproof. Of course, there are some people who believe Constellation sounds pretty much the same throughout their amplifier line. All you're getting is more of the same sound as you go up the ladder. That's been the general feeling from everyone. And there's some truth to that, guys. There's no question about it. Okay, there is definitely some truth to that. Right now, to my understanding, the best Constellation amplifier, or the newest design, is the Constellation Centaur 500 MK2. This amplifier seems to be the latest and greatest design from Constellation, even better than the Hercules monos that you guys know are the flagship. Again, I am not saying that because I haven't owned it. I am getting that feedback from different people in the industry that have told me that. And I gotta tell you that that brand, Constellation, has been impressive with just about any speaker that I've owned. I can't think of a time that I have heard a Constellation amplifier sound bad. I just cannot think of one speaker brand that doesn't sound good with it. It blew my mind with the Magical M6s. It blew my mind with my XLF here. And it blew my mind with the Martin Logan Neoliths that I had back in the day when I had the very first set of Constellation monos. So that brand has always proven to me that it's ready to really, really work and blow me away each and every time. Now, of course, like any other amplifier brand, they're very prone to power chords. I got my best results actually using AudioQuest Dragon power chords with the amplifiers. And conditioning. They're very sensitive to the power from your wall, from your outlet. Okay, they tend to be going through ups and downs throughout the day. When your power is extremely filthy, you're going to hear it through the presentation, and then towards the late evening, you get to hear the amplifier sound much better, more organized, less, not distorted, but less contaminated from your power. So keep that in mind with Constellation. Guys, I've always been very honest about this. In my opinion, it is still one of the best American brands today. And by the way, they are relatively new in this game. Boulder. Guys, when it comes to Boulder, I believe Boulder is the very best American brand we have. No question about it. I do not believe there is a better American brand than Boulder. I want to be very open and honest about this. Now, again, I want to be sure I say this again. We're talking solid state gear. I am not talking about tubes. This is strictly solid state components. There is nothing, in my opinion, better than Boulder gear. Hands down, in the United States, built in the United States. I want to say that again. Built here in the United States, there is nothing better than Boulder. Hands down. To me, Boulder is still king when it comes to amplifiers and preamplifiers. There's nothing that I have heard here made in America that tops it. Now, of course, you guys are going to come out and start arguing with me and telling me this is not true. I have heard this and this was better. Again, this is my opinion. So if you're considering Boulder, I can tell you you're buying the best American brand that exists today. Nothing tops it. I will say it again. No American brand beats Boulder. I don't care where you look. I don't care what the name is. I don't care who told you. I'm telling you, there's nothing better built in America than Boulder. Nothing. Everybody else is playing catch up. Okay, I wanted to say that. And yes, I'm being very passionate about this statement because that is the reality of things here. Okay, now coming from Europe, of course, you guys know I have been very much in love with Gryphon. I have not found a better brand so far than Gryphon coming out of Europe. There might be conversations about Pillium Audio, I think it's called. Some say it's great stuff. There's, of course, Solution. But the reality is, first of all, Pillium Audio is pretty protected right now, okay? I really would like to bring Pillium Audio here in my room. But guys, my efforts are sometimes not successful at acquiring gear that I want to present to you guys and give you my opinion on, okay? So that's been the case with Pillium Audio. So I have no way of talking about Pillium Audio. I have been unsuccessful at acquiring the top-of-the-line Solution 7 Series amplifiers, whether it's the stereo 711 or the 701 monos. I have not been able to. I think it's going to be a matter of time before you see it pop up in my channel. But I hear great things about Solution. I am in love, of course, with the Solution 725 line stage, and if that is a representation of what the amplifiers could do, then I know I'm in for a shock as well with Solution. For the most part, guys, the ultra high-end world has always been dominated by the same brands. It hasn't been any different. What I have seen is a trend, which is that a lot of what used to be mid-phi brands, okay, have actually surpassed some other brands. For instance, again, Luxman, I think, already passed Pass Labs. I now believe the baby Gryphon Essence already surpassed Luxman. I've already made that statement. I think that's the best amplifier under $25,000. So I think what's happening is you're seeing some of the heavy hitters, such as Gryphon, begin to create product that's priced right around the mid-phi, where the mid-phi is. And that is creating a ton of problems for those mid-phi product lines. These lines begin to create and build product at those price points, they are going to eliminate mid-phi. Because let me tell you something. I know a lot of you guys might not be able to afford some of this crazy stuff that I showcase on this channel. But if you can get an affordable Boulder that sounds at least relatively close to the ultra high end, or a Gryphon like the Essence that I have always been preaching lately, you guys have no reason to try the mid-phi products anymore. You guys won't try any mid-phi. Why would you? Why would you try something that is known to be mid-phi? Why would you stick around with the same brands that are always hovering around the $15,000 to $25,000 price range? These high-end brands, in my opinion, can easily dominate the mid-phi market by putting product that is not mid-phi, but is priced at mid-phi price points. And If this continues, I am predicting that this will create a massive problem for these brands that are not creating innovation, these brands that are stuck thinking about their own ways. Again, Macintosh being another brand. I know I haven't touched up on Macintosh, but the reality is, guys, it's one of the greatest American brands there is. It's been recognized around the world. There's a lot of followers. There's a huge cult following Macintosh. And that's because the reality is that they've been around for a long time. I mean, and they've earned their stripes. They really have. But do they really create innovation? Do they really present anything that's mind-blowing? No, they really don't, guys. I mean, they and again, because they're thinking more about profit. They're thinking more about, it's a business. At the end of the day, we have to make money. And if it doesn't make us money, then what's the point, right? And I agree 1,000% with that if that's their MO. But if it's to create world-class products, then they are way behind in the back of the line. They're not even anywhere near close some of the best brands being offered today. And the same could be said about other brands. It's very dangerous for manufacturers to continue to stick around and sit still in the same ballpark where they have always been creating product, because that opens up doors for other brand names to build, other brand names that sit here to begin to build product that's priced right here. Okay. Who builds the better amplifiers? Is it the United States or is it the rest of the world? Guys, that's a tough one for me, to tell you the truth. Because the best I've seen come out of Europe has been Gryphon. And the best I've seen come out of the United States is Boulder. And guys, I gotta tell you, they're so awesome at what they do that it can go either way, and you could be easily satisfied or impressed by either brand. For me personally, out of those three brands that I've mentioned, Gryphon, Constellation, and Boulder, I would be happy with any of those three. I really would be completely satisfied. And I'm telling you right now, guys, if you are looking for an amplifier and you land at any of these three brands, I can promise you have some of the best amplification built today. As I continue to try to come up with different brand names for you guys that do not have to do with Gryphon, Boulder, and Constellation, nothing pops in my head. I have no other ideas. I can't think of anything else. The reality is I can't. And it could be because I haven't tried more. That could very well be the case. But to me, the top three brands right now in this game will continue to be, for now anyway, Boulder, Gryphon, and Constellation. But for me, guys, these three brands, for me, have been the very best brands I have owned in my room. Thank you for your time. I hope this video was informational. Continue to subscribe and stay tuned for more. Take care.